So today I've not really kind of set too much of an agenda. There's a couple of things I'd like to touch upon which I think would be quite useful, and maybe a lot of people have asked me this kind of question over the last 2 weeks since my last live, because I do them every 2 weeks. But today is a bit more fluid, and I'd really like, hey, if you've got questions, just ask me. Like, generally ask me, and I will be more than happy to kind of answer anything, go through it on the off the cuff. But I'm really happy just to kind of go through anything. So a couple of things which I'd really love to do today is actually, and if I'm just going to go back down and have a look, and what I'll do is I will share my screen. So hopefully you can see me if I just double check. Yeah, my screen has gone small. So on my last post that I did here, I said that, what do you want me to discuss? Some people talked about, Sean here has talked about small and light items and long-term storage fees. Melvin's talked about things to consider when you're operating your Amazon business as a nomad. And I think Melvin understands that, and if you don't know, I'm currently out in Vietnam, and I've run my business literally from the day dot, my Amazon business from day zero as a nomad business. I've always wanted to be remote. I've talked a little bit about here VAs and hiring them, and we've had quite a few responses on that as well. Luke's talked a little bit about here VAT for dummies and how VAT is an absolute pain. And I actually spent a couple of hours with Luke on Thursday this week talking about how we do VAT, how we account for zero VAT and products with zero VAT, and how you deal with it in Seller Central, but also from an accounting perspective. And trust me, it is not easy. There's a lot of work in there. And then I think what's it called? Paul's talked a bit about fair leads, doing a demo of the lead service, FastTrackFBA, and we talked a bit about that. Luca obviously can't join us, so I know Luca generally likes to join these, so that's fantastic. And then the other one I'd really like to do is, and I'll probably start with that actually while people are kind of joining, is to talk about Al Carton. Now, he did a SKU creation, and I think this is completely not talked about enough, and too many people are just doing generic SKUs, so I'd really like to start with that. But before I get started, let me just kind of come back through. So who have we got in the live today? We've got Sean. Hi, leaving for the shops again. They're all closing. We'll listen in the background. Sean, great to have you on board. Obviously, I know I'm a friend of yours on Facebook. Loving the updates. Really good. And hey, Sean, you're out there, hitting the stores, getting the deals on, and I love that. That is fantastic. So, generally well done. Pedro, hey, Pedro, great to see you. Obviously, really like that. Mariana, we got hey Thomas, fantastic, good to see you as well. And Vlad, hey Thomas, that's in. So anyone else in the live today, be sure to say hi. Honestly, I really like having this on, doing this with you. A part of my reason for even running FastTrackFBA and doing these lives is that I am a nomad. I'm out in Vietnam, and I don't really have interaction with many people who are selling on Amazon. And I love talking business. Generally, if anyone's ever contacted me on Facebook, Tom, I'm having a problem with this, or what can you recommend? And hey, I don't know the answers, but I love talking about these things. I love talking about business. And hey, if you've got any questions, honestly, just drop me a DM, private message on Facebook, and I love talking about that. I'll share my thoughts. I can't say it's going to be the right thing, but I'll give you my opinion, or if I don't know, I'll hopefully direct you in the right direction. But generally, honestly, I really love this, and I love doing the live. So hopefully today, if there's anything you want to talk about, drop it in the live stream, drop it in the comments, I'll put it through. So I'm just going to talk about VA. So look, in my business, I have, I kind of really have 3 different VAs, to put it that way. They do different roles, but I first started out, Sean, don't worry about rushing, thank you so much, I've got you, got it. And then, okay, so look, when I first started out, my first VA I ever hired was a brilliant lady, and she did my bookkeeping. And and the reason why I want to do that is, me personally, what I think about is, when you look at your Amazon business and what your Amazon business is doing, there is, if you start off, there is suppliers, sourcing, buying and shipping to your warehouse. There is, listing and prepping, and then there is actually getting it on sale in Amazon. And then, one second. And Mariana, thank you very much. I'll grab that as well. And then also as well, there is shipping and prepping. And then what else have we got? We've got dealing with the accounts, and then dealing with like replenishments. So that's kind of like a rough life cycle of Amazon in my head. Now, for me in my business, I thought about it and said, look, finding suppliers, finding deals, sourcing, and probably on Amazon making the sale, they're the three areas that I add value. That's where I'm going to be making my money. Things like prepping, things like doing the accounts, they don't add value. They are a process that we need to do, but they are, they're a cost or a time that we need to take, but they just don't actually add value to your business. If you were to do it or someone else would do it, it doesn't add any more. You're not going to get more revenue. So for me, the first person I hired was a bookkeeper. Now, I basically put a job advert out, and don't get me wrong, I have probably hired the best part of maybe 300, maybe 500 people in my life. I used to be a bar manager. My first job had 120 staff. It's student season. It was insane. But I've done a lot of hiring, a lot of general management in bars, and I think also as well, for me, I put a job advert out and I did it quite well, I like to think, and I had 250 applicants for a bookkeeping job, and I basically hired this one lady who still works for me today, and she's brilliant. I'm really happy with her, and she does my bookkeeping. So basically, if I give you a really quick rundown, she has access to my Gmail, so she can email suppliers and ask them for VAT receipts. She'll also download a monthly copy of all my account statements, and for every expense on the bank statement, she basically says, okay, how much is 1 second. Yes, fine. How much is this cost, this cost, this cost, this cost. She will label them, and then basically go out and fetch all the invoices. So that's brilliant. And then she will check all those invoices versus the VAT coding, and she'll make sure they're all correct, and wherever we need invoices, she'll get them. So that's fantastic, and I really love that. That's so useful in my business, and it means I don't have to worry about it. On top of that, I have an accountant, and she will liaise with the accountant. She'll also do things like end of month stock, which I really like. So first things first, I had her doing bookkeeping. Now, she was only part-time, and basically I said, hey, you're doing a really good job on bookkeeping. Can I teach you how to create shipments? So basically I got it so that once my stock was in the warehouse, she then created the shipment, uploaded everything using the listings loader onto Amazon, and then she created the shipments and then shipped it into Amazon. And then we got to the point whereby, hey, you're doing a really good job in creating shipments and listing loader. Any chance you could do my repricing? And basically I taught her about Keeper, I taught her about how to analyze deals, and then also I created her a flow diagram of how I would do my repricing. So effectively it'd be if this, then do this, if this, then do that, if this, then do that. So I tried to standardize everything. And you think about it, when you're scaling, when you're systematizing, you got to, and the question I always ask to anyone is, whenever you think about your business, don't think oh, what do I need to do now, and where I want to be. If you're trying to scale something, ask yourself the question, okay, it works now for you. Is it going to work when there's 10 times that? What if there's 100, 1,000? Will this work when I'm doing maybe £1 million? Because the question is, you can't do everything when you're doing £1 million, so you need to build systems in. So if I give you a good example, repricing. Everyone's I don't want to do repricing, but hey, we all want to be doing £1 million worth of revenue. But I can't be doing the repricing when I'm doing £1 million worth of revenue. So I have to get someone else to do it. Same thing with purchasing. If I'm doing £1 million, £2 million, £10 million worth of revenue, my God, there's no way I'm going to be the only person with a credit card. At some point in the future of my business, I will have to get someone else to buy stuff for me. That's a fact. So then the question comes is, how do I do that in the best possible way with the least possible risk? So I think about that process, that question all the time. So, and if I just come back to the point, VA, so bookkeeping, inventory listing, uploading, creating shipments, and then repricing. And I was still sourcing at this time. And then basically I hired 2 sourcers to help me do sourcing, and I created my own sourcing methodology. So I used a little bit in-house software, and I trained them on that and got them doing that. And then at the same time, I had another member of staff who was doing some other work for me, kind of related to sourcing. And then I asked her, hey, any chance you could start helping me purchasing? She'd worked for me a year. And the one problem I really remember with her is that she was too detailed. I literally had to say, you're really good, but if you don't hurry up, I'm going to fire you because I can't keep affording you to spend too much time. And she's like, I understand. And she got faster. And eventually I gave her a credit card and I built in systems, and then she started doing my sourcing. So now I effectively have three kind of people, well, not three people, but I have sources, I have purchasing, which is completely separate from accounts, and then I have accounts, shipment, and repricing here. And we have Skype calls once a week, and that's my business. Three things. And I literally oversee that. Now, I'd probably say I should have someone to oversee the whole of that, but I don't. I'm still quite hands-on in the business, and I'm still micromanaging a bit, and I should get out of that. But I appreciate in an Amazon business, it's very easy to grow and scale, but actually there's cost. So for me, it's about trying to minimize that cost and to keep it really simple, i.e. sources, finding me deals, and then I literally have two other people. Purchasing, that's part-time role, and then I have here accounts, shipments, and repricing. That's it. And I always keep purchasing away from accounts. So that's a little bit about VAs and how I run them and the team. Hey, maybe you're watching this on the replay, and there's something that maybe I haven't talked about, or something that I haven't gone into too much detail, or maybe I've gone too quick. And I won't lie, I talk very fast. Drop me a comment down below. And hey, if you've been watching this and it's been useful, and you'd like maybe me doing them a bit more interactively, let me know. Let me know down below. Or maybe you want me to do, go back to kind of doing a set piece and that's it without the interaction. Let me know. Or maybe a mix, maybe like 3 set pieces and one interactive or other a week. Let me know down in the comments below. And finally, hey, if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I always like to do this. Give me a big subscribe, because I'm releasing not only these lives but also lots of other content. I've got to do some other ones straight off the back of this live that I think is going to be really important for people who are selling on Amazon. Questions, and I can share my advice, my top tips. I'm not saying I'm the expert, but I can certainly give you my thoughts on certain areas. And hey, you're going to get notified the moment they come out. But what I'll say is to anyone watching, and now in the live or maybe in the replay, look. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday afternoon with me. That's been a real pleasure. I really love doing these. From here out in Vietnam, there is no one who really understands Amazon, and it's really nice to be able to talk to a community and have that. That's lovely. So thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your questions, and thank you for listening to my feedback and my thoughts on them. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. And I think, look, if there's anything else that you want to do, or just drop me a PM, drop me a message, drop it in the group. I'm here, I talk, I share. If I don't know, I'll be quite honest with you, but I'll give you my 2 cents if I think I know the answer. But other than that, what I'll probably say is I've gone through all the messages, I've gone through everything. Again, if you like this, give me a like. I'm going to give it a like now. And I'll just say, look, from me, Thomas Parkinson at FastTrackFBA from Hanoi, thank you very much. Bye-bye.